This is going to be a proper getting started with the opencode.nvim plugin, and I even have a little outline to keep things on track. So let's jump right in. We're going to go to installation and configuration. So I'm just going to pop open my browser here and go over to opencode.nvim. And I am going to lift this configuration directly from the GitHub repository here and plop it into this file for your Lua plugins for NeoVim. So let's go to config, Vim, Lua, do a little ls there, and you know what? You'll see I already have that largely configured, and the only difference is that I have mine pointing to a directory because I'm developing it, so I need it to be updated without having to push to the remote. But for you, you can just plop this on in here and save that. Once you save that, it should be good to go. The one caveat here though is voice, so let me just comment that out for now. And then we'll enable that, and then we'll talk about that here once we get to the voice section. So let me show you some basic usage. Oh yeah, and then actually I'll choose to say that you need opencode to be installed, the CLI to be installed. You also need to have a model configured or some sort of way to run an LLM model under the hood with opencode already configured, ready to go. And you can specify what that model needs to be within the configuration here. I'm just going to be using my Anthropic account for mine locally here, but anyways, let's just show you some basic usage. So I am going to go into Ziglings, and so Ziglings is like Rustlings, which are essentially a series of exercises that you can go through to learn a language. I'm only using this for, ooh, look at that. So if you notice on the right hand side, you'll see a couple messages saying opencode has started on a particular point. That's a good sign. That means things are working. But anyways, normally if I am learning, I might use AI to look up something, but I'm not going to use it to autocomplete my code because that kind of defeats the purpose of learning. But for this demo, it's actually going to be pretty helpful to use it to demonstrate. So on line 27 here, you see we have a problem. So I'm just going to comment that out. And you'll notice this little spinner. That is the autocomplete. And voila, there it is. Works just like you would imagine. And yeah, it's going to keep on trying to autocomplete. Then we go. The same thing down here. I'm going to come down here, erase that. Let's see what it's going to do. And just like that. That simple. If you're familiar with, and there's some quirks that we're going to iron out here in the near future, but anyways, if you're familiar with Supermaven, or any type of tab auto completion, then this should you should feel at home with this functionality. So that's pretty much it for basic usage. But I mean, what's nice about that too is like if you are, let's do like the functions, you can have it also autocomplete these functions, right? So let's go ahead and let that do its thing here. And voila. So let's also undo that because now I am going to open terminal again, go over to my configurations. I'm going to enable the voice. Let's NVIM. Okay, here, and we're going to re-enable this voice. And I have this the keybind for leader R in order to like trigger this toggle. So let me show you how that works. And let me just, what have I done? Oh my god, I hate when that happens. Okay. Reopen this. So you'll see that it starts a new session, I'll serve again. And what is neat about that is that it'll open up on different ports. You don't have to worry about port conflicts per project. So it just works. TM. Go back into exercises here, and let's go to the functions again. Let's see what's in function 2. Yeah, cool. So now, what's nice about this is like, this is kind of how I've wanted AI to work as an assist. Like just program with me so that I can actually be involved with the writing of the code, you know, versus the whole like, okay, you go off and do your thing, come back to me with a bunch of code after review. So I am going to press leader R, implement the to the function. Leader R again sends that off. Now it's not processing. First it's going to transcribe the audio. You'll see that it says heard, and it just shows you what it got. And then you'll see that little twitchiness. That's just the stream of the agent messages there. I'm sure that could be better. But then down here, you'll see that that just came in here and swapped that out and implemented it. So that's exactly how that works. And it's literally that simple to get going here. And so, you know, this is how I've personally wanted AI to work, so that I could stay within my editor and not have to leave it. I don't have to go over to you know, another terminal or a chat window or whatever, copy paste, or you know, have it completely just write all the code that I have to then you know, spend all my time reviewing. Like this is a little more like pair programming in that sense. Anyways, I'm not trying to get long-winded here, but here I am. So some troubleshooting. You might get some errors, and reasons for that might be your open code configuration. So if you get any errors, you can always type in messages here. Sometimes those will pop out there, and then you can see those error messages. And I would recommend just using AI to help you figure out how to fix those errors. It usually is really good with that. Sometimes it's a configuration issue between the two things. Let me think about what other troubleshooting you might need to do here. I don't know. Like if you have any issues, just go to the repository, submit an issue, add as much coverage as you can there and information. I will try my best to help unblock you and get this working for you. It is still very early days for this project, but it works. And then as far as next steps go, if you want to use the voice portion of this, you are going to need Audetic. That is my other project that is completely open source and free forever. But it is, you know, I'm only supporting Amachi because I don't want to deal with Windows and Mac. And then, of course, there's a sea of other Linux distributions that I can probably support, but I'm just trying to stay focused right now because I'm just one person. Unless y'all want to step in and help, by all means, right? So here's project Audetic. You can come into here. Installation is super simple. You just copy this, you run it, and that's literally all you have to do. It'll use our homegrown inference servers, which we just use to provide transcription. We don't I don't save anything. And all that data is yours, right? Completely encrypted, private, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't need to even, like, there's no API keys, there's no nothing. It just works, which is great, as it should be. And we'll see how well that scales. Anyways, you need this in order to use that voice feature for the opencode plugin because it provides that transcription component that you need here. And plus, if you have them, then you get you get voice to talk. And so let me show you how that works. This is how it works. I just press Super R, and that triggers the toggle. Whoops, it didn't put it into over here, but the complete picture. This is how, and it works. This is how it works. Let me stay focused in this editor this time. Yep, that's simple. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else you need here for getting going. I think that is pretty much it. Again, it is early days, and if you run into an issue, you want to help contribute to it, please, by all means, come to the repository here, submit an issue or a feature request, or, submit a pull request. I don't care if you use AI, but if it's slop, I'm just going to swat it. Like, if it's completely slop, you haven't actually reviewed it and tested it, like, I'm just going to swat it. But anyways, that is that. Hopefully you like this. Hopefully it worked for you. Hopefully it can help solve lots of problems. We'll see.